Hey guys, this is Sam at Geek, and I want to talk about an interesting topic that's divided the gaming community as long as I can remember. There are two groups of people in gaming media. There's the group of people who think we should pursue the next chess. Make games that are more mechanical, timeless, interesting, that anyone could get into, and that anyone could participate in, maybe competitively, maybe just challenging. Um, you know, for the advancement of the medium as a game. But there are also people who want the next Citizen's Kane. They want a medium that's as serious as movies or books. As you know, that movies weren't really taken seriously until the film Citizens Kane. Everyone thought that they were, funny, that you could only really make comedies, and that you can't really take movies as seriously as you would books. But I'm from the camp that thinks that we should be pursuing the next chess. I feel that video games are meant to, make us think, make us pursue forward and conquer things and learn to adapt to our environments. And, they provide an interesting element as an interactive medium. And we should not be making interactive movies. I feel that that's wrong. And that I feel that we can make games with good stories while not shoehorning in the story. I mean, one good case of this is Half-Life. You know, the entire story happens around you, but at the same time, you can walk around, you can move the camera, you're in complete control. Although I feel that Half-Life didn't do it too well because, the people around you are looking at you like, what the heck? Because you're just jumping around doing whatever, and they're just continuing on normally, totally ignoring what you're doing. I feel that there's a lot of ways to make the medium more interactive. And I look at a lot of elements that people do in video games, like even such as Animal Crossing. They know when you haven't checked in or talked to them or whatever. And of course, it's based entirely on the system's clock, which is a flaw. But at the same time, it's interesting on its own in its own right. It's very interesting, and how they play with time and how they play with how people interact with their console. And I feel that we should be focusing more on things like that in storytelling, and we should also be focusing more on puzzles and how the player can advance simply by trying to figure things out on their own, like Limbo. If you watch a lot of playthroughs of Limbo, a lot of people don't know how to play it, and they take their time. They can't figure out, that you need to push a bear trap here or whatever, and it's all through trial and error. And I feel that trial and error is very important for the video game industry, and I feel that that's how you get people interested in games. But unfortunately, the other side feels that we need to promote games like Walking Dead and Portal 2. Now, both of these games are good, don't get me wrong, but I highly doubt that they're 10s out of 10s and the best game of all time. Hell, I received Portal 2 as a review copy. I received it as a review copy for free, and I gave it an 8. I didn't look at anyone else's reviews, and I thought, this game's good. It's an 8. But lo and behold, that's a controversial view. It's a very controversial view. So a lot of people think it's the best game ever made. And I really can't agree with that. I really don't think that it's really that much of a game that's replayable or timeless. I feel like it's a flavor of the month. And a lot of you probably know what I'm talking about when I say flavor of the month. Every game there's this month. Every month there's this game. I'm sorry. Every game there's this month. Every month there's this game that's the best game ever made. It's so amazing, so down to earth. It advances the medium, blah, blah, blah. And in reality, in a couple of years from now, it doesn't look that great or it isn't as good as you thought it was. A lot of examples of this are like the original Gears of War, the original Bioshock, and I feel in the same time we're going to be talking the same about The Last of Us and, The Walking Dead and and Bioshock Infinite. Sure, these games are hot now. Sure, they're amazing now, but In 10, 20 years, are we really going to be talking about them the same way as we do now? I mean, think about it. Look at games like Tetris, the original Pokemon, Super Mario Brothers. These are all games that are pretty much timeless. You could still go back and play them to this day, and they're awesome. And I feel that focusing so much on story and focusing so much on being easy and focusing so much on not really directly challenging the player negatively affects both of these views. And I feel that game media has a lot to do with that. Game media wants easier, more linear games that they can make several guides and tutorials and maximize profit out of. And I feel that that's why a lot of the games that get Game of the Years and a lot of the Flavor of the Months are so popular is because of these very things. A lot of them are very linear, and a lot of them have decent stories, and that helps them, feel more conscious about promoting the game because, we need to make this, we need to be taken as seriously as movies. And a lot of it has to do with their own selfishness. A lot of people want games to be a serious medium and want to be taken seriously by the mainstream for the benefit of themselves because they want to be seen as a Roger Ebert. And I don't feel that we should be doing that. I feel critics should be for the interest of the consumers and the consumers' time. And I feel that most people out there want something that's going to maximize the amount of time that they can get out of the money they spend on video games. $60 is very expensive. And I feel that, a lot of the games that we promote every month, that's the most amazing thing ever, aren't worth $60 in the long run and aren't timeless. And I feel that this negatively affects the entire industry because people feel that their games are too hard and they dumb them down with tutorials. And tutorials are my biggest pet peeve in this industry nowadays. I mean, Doodle Jump. I'm playing Doodle Jump Connect, and it stops the action every 2 minutes to introduce a new element with a tutorial that you have to go through, and then you have to wave your hand out there, press OK, and hold it, and that takes me out of the game. It makes the game kind of tedious when the first 10 or 20 levels are tutorials, and they are, and I don't feel right when I get an achievement for completing a tutorial. I feel that this has negatively affected a lot of the games that I enjoy because a lot of the games I enjoy are these type of games that are meant to challenge you and meant to push your, make you think and push your knowledge and all that in favor of a lot of these games that, they just have good stories, I guess. I mean, personally, I've never played a video game story that's as good as a book or movie. That can capture me the same way a book or movie can. I feel that most video game stories are bogged down by the fact that they're games. I feel that games don't really lend themselves as a medium for storytelling. I really don't. I think that it's pretty tedious to watch a cutscene, then do gameplay, watch a cutscene, then do gameplay, watch a cutscene, then do gameplay. It doesn't make it good. It makes it feel like the gameplay is shoehorned into this story. It really does. I mean, one of the best examples is Gears of War. I like Gears a lot. I think it's a really fun game. But I don't feel that the story element was really that good. You're running around, you're shooting people, you're having tons of fun, and then a cutscene. And then the cutscenes don't even really blend well with the gameplay. One of the best moments and most memorable moments of the Gears of War story is when Maria is shot, and it's hard to take yourself out of the experience that, his girlfriend is shot, and then you go and start shooting aliens again, and people are like, hell yeah, when they get a headshot or headshot. Like, it would have been so much more dramatic if they made the gameplay silent. Like, if Phoenix and Dom just didn't say anything after, his girlfriend, he was forced to kill his girlfriend. I feel like the gameplay would have been taken more seriously that way. And I feel like it's the same thing with Uncharted, where all these cutscenes, get in the way of this really interesting, good gameplay. And then at the same time, there's tons of tutorial in Uncharted too. I feel that this focus on story and this focus to get the best story in video games ever has negatively affected the gameplay. I really do. I mean, I personally play games for gameplay. I want to be challenged. I want to be forced to think. I want to see how I'm supposed to adapt to the environment that the developers have put me into. And it doesn't even necessarily need to be challenging or, super tough or you need to get headshots. I mean, look at games like Animal Crossing where you need to learn how to manage your funds. You need to learn how to, when to sell turnips, that's stuff that's interesting. That's stuff that's gameplay, pure, interactiveness. And I feel that even in games like Skyrim, which are awesome, that have super big open worlds and have tons of gameplay, they're bogged down by the fact that you have to press A and then listen to this dialogue that really is shoehorned in. And I feel that developers feel that they feel the need that they're forced to shoehorn in story and writing just for the benefit of critics. And I feel that video games would be taken a lot more seriously if they were more competitive, they challenge your thinking more, and more interesting. And I think that you could get a lot more story elements out there if through, actual experience. I really do. I feel that you could get way more out of, interacting with the environment than you could out of dialogue trees. Sorry, that's just the truth. I mean, I've said it earlier in my Animal Crossing review, where I was playing Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. They were tackling a lot of, deep issues such as stealing and depression and all this stuff in this little kids game. But at the same time, Animal Crossing did it so much better because it forced you to experience that stuff, and you actually had rewards and losses that came from these experiences. Well, anyway, let me know your thoughts. Samuel out.